In classic Disney princess films, the stories were never just about romantic love. It was about wonder, adventure, longing. That beautifully deep human idea that love alongside a personal journey was something to desire, something to wish for even, and was the basis of so many princess films done in so many different ways. Some princesses had love on their mind and received love at the end of their journey, while other princesses did not have love on their mind and yet still received love by the end of their journey. I recently rewatched Tangled and was blown away by the film and how beautifully done it was. It's everything I wish modern Disney princess movies still dare to be. I mean, it's literally rich with so much loss, adventure, heartache, love, both romantically and familially, all wrapped in an emotional maturity Disney has not demonstrated in a while. We're getting princess after princess who either reject romance entirely or never get the chance to experience it. Instead of timeless tales like Tangled or Cinderella, The Little Mermaid, Mulan, or The Princess and the Frog, I can't name a popular Disney princess in the last 10 years where romance plays a major role. And no, Frozen came out in 2013. As a girl who grew up on princess movies, I loved the enchantment, the songs, the villains. But what I loved most was the romance, the way it was either intertwined with the story or the story itself. In this video, we're diving into the death of romance in Disney princess films and why people are starting to ask for it back. Not just for nostalgia's sake, but because more and more of us are over the same rhetoric, choosing ourselves and forfeiting love. We get it. We can do that. We have the choice. Woohoo! Now please bring back the romance so we can choose love too. And so this next generation can see romantic love is not a bad thing and does not make a heroine weak. In fact, a lot of the time, the most mature, emotionally stable characters have a well-rounded balance of it all. Yes, romance may not be necessary or needed, but oh how it's wanted. Welcome back to the Princess series. I'm Rhea, and this is Butterlore. Don't forget to subscribe for more content. Once upon a time, Disney told love stories that didn't replace a heroine's journey. They enhanced it. The love story wasn't the whole story, but it was a part of the emotional reward. Think Aladdin or The Princess and the Frog. The adventure, the stakes, the villain, all leading to a love that felt earned. What made those old school princess movies so powerful was that you didn't see magic, you saw effort, you saw pursuit, you saw sacrifice from both the hero and the heroine. And then there was the choice, a concept that might make some people cringe, but personally, I love it. The choice between love and the dream a princess thought she wanted most. And here's the thing, in the best stories, she doesn't have to lose her dream, but she does have to realize that what her heart wants most isn't always what she expected. And somehow in choosing love, she ends up finding everything else too. That's what's missing now. Today's message is often choose your dream, love, who needs it? But back then, love wasn't off the table. In fact, it always awaited, ready for a princess to grab a hold of. So let's talk some of my favorite Disney examples of this. We have Tangled. Rapunzel's dream was to see the floating lanterns and leave the tower she had spent 18 years in. But along the way, she falls in love with Eugene, who made a deal with her to show her the lanterns if she gave him back the crown he stole. When she gets her dream of seeing the lanterns, she realizes she does not want to let Eugene go. She'd fallen for him along their journey together. Eventually, their lives are in danger and she realizes she might never see him again. And she's willing to let him go just so he can live. But then he saves her and then she saves him. And because of that selflessness, she gets both the love and the life she never dreamed was possible. Let's talk The Princess and the Frog. Tiana worked endlessly for her dream, to own her restaurant and honor her late father's memory. And in the middle of her long, hard work, she falls in love with someone who seems completely wrong for her, Prince Naveen. But here's what I love most. They both grow because of each other. She helps him become selfless. He teaches her to open up, loosen up, let go. In the end, she still gets her restaurant. And she gets a love that she chose, not because she needed it, but because she wanted it. Even Mulan. Mulan didn't go to war for love. She went for honor and to save her father. But in the process of becoming her strongest self, she found someone who saw her, not the mask she wore, but her. And again, love wasn't the goal, but it was a gift that came from courage, loyalty, and vulnerability. These were love stories that coexisted with ambition. They didn't ask women to shrink, and they didn't say, choose love instead of purpose. They said, maybe you can have both. But love will ask you to grow in ways you never planned for. There's beauty in that. and a strength in it. What I love is how none of these love stories look the same. Tiana and Naveen start off clashing. I mean, it was an opposites attract and forced proximity romance. It was two people who would have never spoken to each other prior, who both grew to be better because of the other person. Rapunzel and Eugene begin as strangers to partners. They are somewhat hate to love with that grumpy sunshine trope, all mixed together. And their story is both of them are a means to an end. However, they become each other's new dream in the process. Then we have Mulan and Shang, whose interactions start off minimal, but slowly a mutual respect is built, and their bond is formed non-romantically. When Mulan, however, saves Shang's life, that switches once Shang learns she's a woman. It's a beautiful, subtle, slow burn romance. But the common thread, they all grow together, they see each other, and they choose each other. These stories remind us that love isn't the end of the journey, it's part of the transformation. So when did romance become the villain? Who said stop adding romance to princess films? Seriously, where are you? I just want to talk. I mean, I guess the shift didn't happen all at once. It started quietly, first with Brave. In 2012, Merida became our first Disney princess without a love story. In fact, throughout the whole movie, she's very vocal in the fact that she does not want to get married and she's not looking for love anytime soon. And I have to admit, I love this movie. I mean, between the themes of forgiveness and the bond between a mother and a daughter, I thought that the movie was beautifully executed. However, what I did not expect was Merida's decision on not having a love story becoming the future blueprint for the rest of the Disney princesses to follow. Take Frozen, for example. Two sisters. Anna gets a romantic arc with Kristoff, but Elsa, not only does she not end up with someone, she doesn't even want to. I mean, and don't get me wrong, the message was beautiful too. That love doesn't always have to be romantic, and that the bond between sisters can be the truest love of all, or even the bond between a mother and a daughter, just like in Brave. But it didn't stop with Brave, and it didn't stop with Frozen. Next came Moana. My girl, for real, I gotta give her that, love me some Moana. One of the best modern Disney heroines, but she doesn't experience a romantic subplot either. In fact, I remember people specifically praising the film for that. No prince, no love interest, look how empowered she is. And okay, that's fine. Not every story needs romance, but it didn't stop there either. Then came Raya and the Last Dragon. No love story. Frozen 2? Still no love story for Elsa. Moana 2? No. And here's the thing. I get it. The message is empowerment. The message is independence. But somewhere along the way, love stopped being a strength and started being treated like a distraction, like a bad choice, like the wrong choice. Like independence and romance cannot coexist. Unpopular opinion? I think a warrior princess who can fight a war and fall in love is a way more entertaining plotline to watch. And honestly, a more balanced and inspiring one too. But why did Disney stop completely? It's simple. Criticism. Lots of it. If you get told long enough by a large enough group that something is not wanted, then eventually that thing is going to stop being given. I remember it was popular to start saying Cinderella was a terrible film for girls. And I feel like most people who said that didn't know the reason why they were saying that. They just thought it was the correct feminist answer. In other words, it became cool to praise and seek independence as women separated from romance. Women wanted to see more films of women saving the day without a man in sight, or overcoming a personal struggle without a man in sight. See the pattern? Without a man in sight. So what did Disney do? Take away the men in princess movies who could be potential love interests. However, Disney made a mistake. Not everyone thinks this way, and to please one group, Disney has lost and forgotten another group. And it shows. Why else would there be so much backlash to the new Snow White live action when Rachel Zegler said what she said? It's because not everyone sees romance as bad or a thing of the past. We actually want it now. Which leads me to why women are starting to push back. Let's be real. The era of hyper self-empowerment is starting to wear thin because at the end of the day, humans need other humans. We all want to be loved and to love others. Yes, even romantically. The problem with what Disney has done isn't just that they've told stories without romance. It's that they've started treating romance like it's the problem. Instead of showing a healthy balance, some stories with romance, some without, they've erased romantic love altogether, as if it weakens a female lead. as if a princess can only be strong if she chooses to be alone. But that's not empowerment. That's erasure. And it's based on a lie. Somewhere along the way, society started treating feminism as the absence of men instead of the freedom to choose what a woman wants, including love, softness, partnership. That's what it really comes down to, right? We hit a cultural climax where the message became, dethrone the prince, save yourself, you don't need a man. And while some could argue that message may have been necessary at one point, Disney missed the mark by letting it become the only message. Because the problem isn't romance. The problem is the belief that romance is weakness, that choosing love means abandoning ambition, that wanting to be with a man makes a woman less powerful. And in 2025, more and more women are getting tired of it. I can do it without a man. Yes, we know. But what if we don't want to? What if we want to pursue our dreams and fall in love? What if we choose vulnerability? What if we pull a Princess Tiana and give up what we thought we wanted most for someone who matters more? Not because we're weak, but because we're free enough to decide what matters to us most, who matters to us most. Because we still want love. We still want a story where ambition and affection coexist, where strength doesn't mean shutting your heart off, and where the heroine doesn't have to prove she's enough by being alone. Femininity is not weakness, and romance is not a threat to a woman's power. It's just another way she gets to express it. Romance is a part of life. It's a tale as old as time, literally, and it bridges cultures, generations, and people. It's not outdated, it's timeless. Disney once understood that. They portrayed romance beautifully in stories like The Tangled, like Mulan, like The Princess and the Frog, or Aladdin even, and so many more. But in the last 10 years, they've hesitated. They've walked away from something that used to feel so magical and honestly, so fun. If there's one film I think Disney could learn from, that they've already given to us, is Tangled. It's rich, emotional, romantic, and bold. It's a story. And until Disney stops writing against romance, until they stop rejecting something they think we want to reject, we're not going to get these kind of love stories again. But we can say something. We can tell them some of us still love a good romance story. Some of us want our kids to grow up seeing stories where love and ambition coexist, where we can choose our dream and fall in love. Romance isn't weak. Romance is an adventure. And it's still a story worth telling. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out my next video on Anastasia, the most brilliant princess movie of all time. And until next time, much love. Bye.